10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, our Wednesday and Saturday usual live stream. Next Wednesday on December 4th, Rachel Ghost, we're going to do another Beatles roundtable at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so we won't be on next Wednesday night on December 4th. I'll be on Rachel's Ghost channel. Reached out to Mikey Arugula. I don't know if he's going to help me out on that live stream, but I hope he does. How's it going out there? I'm privileged tonight to be wearing a pinback button that was worn at the February 11th Washington Coliseum, the first Beatles show in America. And you know, the Beatles 64 documentary, I don't know if I can watch it tomorrow night at midnight when it turns to be the 29th of November, but I'm hoping so. That's what they did on the Get Back documentary from a few years ago. Have any of you out there seen the Beatles 64 documentary? I know some people got some promo screeners of it, and they had the premiere at the Hudson Square Theater in New York last Sunday night. Caitlin Larkin went to it, and who would show up right before it started was Paul McCartney and his wife Nancy. Olivia Harrison was there, Sean Lennon was there, and there was an actress dressed up with a big Abbey Road shirt. I don't know if it was Amy Schuler or what, but tell me in the comments. How's it going out there?
Okay, Daniel Costello said your review on the Beatles box set, ?
My review on the Beatles box set. I have it over there. I have not opened it up, and I'm not going to open it up. Let's show it here. I'm too much into listening to original pressings and audiophile pressings from Germany to get too worked up about this. Got this in the mail from UPS on Wednesday. It's got the hype sticker on the front. It doesn't have the packing like I've seen some of them have where they have that blue foam. But it'll have made in France on the back. That's where they made them all. But if one of you is interested in this, it's supposed to be sold out. I'll sell it to you, $400 shipped. All right, let's put that. 400.
If I buy it, will you open it?
If you buy it, you're gonna give me $400?
Yep.
It cost me almost $350 with taxes and shipping and everything else. I don't know if it's really sold out yet or not. Tell me in the comments. Are you still able to buy the Beatles and Mono box set that just came out? All right, let's clear the table off. I did a short on this yesterday and already has 2,000 views, and it sold twice. I had to refund the second person, undisclosed person that bought this. This is the lowest number I've ever had, a UK, excellent condition. The cover is almost near mint, number 10,684. I've never had a white album that was under 100,000 before. First day issue, November 1968 from the United Kingdom, a top loader. It is sharp. Don't know how it was preserved all this time. It was in the Perry Cox collection for a while. You can even read the spine where it has a mono number and the stereo number on there. But this is the mono mix. And boy, I was thrilled when I heard the Dutch stereo pressing, but I was also thrilled when I heard this first mono mix made from the freshly just completed true mono mixes, analog tapes. I don't think the analog tapes were made to last 50 years.
Daniel said, wow, it's a collectible already. Talk about the box.
Yeah.
Nova's Nick said hello, sticker friends.
How you doing, Novus Nick?
Polly Hawaii said good evening, Stickermania family.
How you doing, Polly?
Uncle Paul, Beatles Spot Playhouse said yes, monobox still available. Happy Thanksgiving Eve.
All right. But Uncle Paul got one the same day I got one. But you say it's still available from where? Amazon or the Beatles store, or where's it available from?
Daniel Casilio said Joan bought the White Album.
I said it was undisclosed. I had two people that bought this yesterday. One was first. $2,500. It's got the white photo protector sheet. Most of these were not even put in the album. They were just protected at the factory and then they were thrown away, but some of them got into the album. Got the 4 oversized glossy photos from the United Kingdom. They're bigger than the USA.
Uncle Paul said both Beatles store and Amazon.
All right.
Nova's Nick said latest mono box worth purchasing ?
I don't know. I'm not going to open it up. I got no desire. From what I've heard, it's fold down stereo to mono on a lot of them, and I'd rather listen to the 2014 mono or that 1982 mono box set I sold last week. I played Sgt. Pepper -1 -1 from 1981. I was blown away. And I played the Rubber Soul -6 -5 on side 2, the Hazel Yardwood cut. And I was blown away by that 1981 UK mono Rubber Soul that was in that mono collection 10 album box set that Mr. James Young bought it from me.
Good deeds.
Good deeds. There were a lot of good deeds today. The store was busy. I'm not even done with the store yet. I helped people to their cars. I helped a handicapped lady down the ramp and I opened the door for her. Somebody came up to me when I was facing as fast as I could and said, where's the frozen corn? I said, well, it's probably in the frozen aisle. Then I walked him over there and showed him. And then he had a fresh corn from the produce. I said, do you want me to put that back? He said, yeah. And then another person put a phone in my face and says, I need sugar. He had wrote that he needs a bag of sugar. So I said, that's on aisle 4. So I walk him over there and I show him where the sugar is on right side of 4. And then a couple minutes later, he brings up a bag of sugar to me and says, is this sugar? I said, yeah, that's sugar.
Daniel Castillo said those white albums are supposed to be compressed due to limitations.
I don't know. This one, I've heard things in this mono mix I've never heard before in this first UK pressing. -1 -1 all the way. You need to listen to one of them.
Concert Buddy said hi, Frank and
Cancer Buddy, how's it going? Is this the first time you've watched one of our shows? I was a little bit late watching that one where Dave Bianco showed he said it was a First Aid Butcher cover, and I said it was a Japanese counterfeit, and I thought I was going to get all kinds of heat from you and everybody else the next morning, but I was correct. That's the black die-cut inner sleeves that came in the UK first pressings from '68. It's pretty fragile and it's already sold. I think I will put that away. There are the records that go to it. Has a little bit of spindle hole wear, but there's no marks on the album. Must have been well taken care of. What a way to hear the White Album. Different than the stereo.
Concert Buddy said, yes, sir. Glad I caught a live from y'all.
Caught a what? A live? Yeah. Boy, I was afraid you were going to be sending me, or you or Bianco was going to be sending me a nasty message when I woke up the next morning. I could just tell by the colors and how white it was on the back. It was not real.
Gregory Fio said 1978 Beatles Collection 45 box arrived today. Thanks, Frank. That was fast.
Yeah, Gregory Fio, we sent that out Monday at 5 to 6 p.m. at the main post office in Louisville, and you got it in California today, priority mail. That's amazing with the holiday rush. I don't know how that happened.
Happy
All right.
For you.
You what?
Said happy for him.
And then do the Novus Nick comment.
Novus Nick said Bianco isn't like that. He's a good man.
I know, but his kids must have accidentally put it in a safe of where he has all his prized holy grails, and he pulled it out there like it was the real deal when they were talking about the $112,000 album sold at Heritage Auctions that was slabbed and graded a 9. And they just didn't know the whole story. That was a Livingston Butcher cover that was in Alan Livingston, the president of Capitol Records. It was in his closet, dark closet, for over 20 years. He had a box of 24 and they opened one of them, so he had 23. I think it was 19 stereo or 19 mono and 4 stereo. And he gave like 6 of them to his son Peter to take it to an early Beatle Fest in Los Angeles in the early 90s. And the only person that believed when he walked in there that those were real was Perry Cox. Perry Cox bought a stereo right away, I think for $2,500. And that stereo sealed Livingston now would be worth close to $200,000.
QRM Production said, ever seen the I'm Only Sleeping pillowcase set?
Nope, never seen that. All right, here's my original 1964 Beatles Christmas album. I showed this once before. You can see Ringo's eyeballs down here. There's lots and lots of counterfeits of this. You can see the Theatre Royal there, completely in the factory shrink, the way they sent it out to the Beatles fan club in 1970. I got this on eBay at $500. The best one on the internet. And somebody sent me a message because I talked about the small indentation made it original. And they said, well, you should sell that for $400 since it has indentations. I said, no, all the originals have indentations. He didn't understand what I meant. Never played Beatles Christmas album with bell sound and the Winchester rifle in the dead wax. Put that baby away. $500 shipped, and it's yours. Somebody's going to buy it on eBay pretty quick. Got another Christmas. Got a whole collection of them coming in with the inserts, but I only have the 64 and the 65 right now. I showed the 64 or 65 in the last live stream. This is the 64. Has a little bit of age wear there, but you do want to show some age wear. It's 60 years old. If it was pure white, it would be a counterfeit. And the flexi disc records that weren't meant to last this long, 60 years. And it has the original insert that usually were thrown away from the Beatles fan club in the United Kingdom, 1964. And it even has the original mailer. It says it was sent to Sheila Thacker in Essex. I think Essex is part of London, but I could be wrong. Somebody out there can tell me. All right, let's put that away. Any messages about questions on that?
No. No, so far.
The Beatles, this is the first Beatles item that was made in the United States. Late 1963, December. They made hundreds of thousands of these and gave them to the Capitol reps. And they put a lot of them on Meet the Beatles album. The Beatles are coming. 2 of them, 2 stickers, perfect shape. That and my Beatles button. There's a lot of history in those 2 items. Got this in today. It's a Beatles junior guitar made by Mastro in 1964. Sticker Kid's not here, so we don't have to worry about him playing the guitar.
She already tried.
Oh, Sticker granddaughter already tried, huh?
No, I didn't. I was seeing what it was.
And this is the best condition Saharan issue I've ever had. It's a monthly issue they put out by the Sahara in the Las Vegas. This is the October 1964, after the Beatles had performed at the Las Vegas Convention Center. It says Beatlemania, page 3. Never had one that was no creases, no. It must not be even been mailed out. Perfect shape. Page 3. There's the Beatles getting off the plane in Las Vegas and performing at the convention center. That's the only page the Beatles are on. They got Arnold Palmer and other people inside it. Pretty amazing condition. That's on my Stickermania 2853 eBay store for $222.
Gregory Field said, Target blue vinyl Meet the Beatles surprisingly loud. Love it.
He loves to Meet the Beatles and the Target. They say the I Want to Hold Your Hand and I Saw Her Standing There are true mono mixes, but a lot of the other tracks on that album are fold down stereo. They take a stereo, fake stereo, and they fold it down to mono. That sounds real complicated to me.
Uncle Paul wants to know her favorite Beatles song, and she don't want to do it.
No, he said favorite Beatles album.
Oh.
What's your favorite Beatles album?
The one with the sun. What's that one called?
Abbey Road.
Yeah, that one's my favorite. It has good songs.
So somebody out there tell me, was that actress at the premiere, was it Amy Schuler in the big frock Abbey Road shirt that took pictures with all the, with Paul and the director, and I guess that's who that was. They said it was an actress, but they didn't say who it was. So I'll see if I have enough nerve to open this on the Saturday live stream. A 1971 factory seal Hot Rocks. Price was $13.98 back then in 1971. It's got the hype sticker, and I've had these before opened up where they have the first mix where there's outtakes of Brown Sugar and Wild Horses. So there's a chance it could be in here. That would make it real valuable. Everybody wants to hear those outtakes of Brown Sugar with Eric Clapton on it, and there's an outtake of Wild Horses. So much different than the release. That was a mistake they did for like a week on these first pressings of Hot Rocks. Beatles' first U.S. visit. Can't wait till tomorrow night. Talk about that on Saturday. I can't believe that the Talk More Talk did an hour and 20-minute show Monday, and they had screener copies. They sent to them promo copies of the Beatles 64 documentary, and they talked about the different, but they never they said it was disjointed, but they never talked about the sound and how amazing the picture is. And Caitlin Larkin did say that the sound was amazing, and the picture was just like seeing it brand new instead of the like the VHS copies from way back. And this is from 1990. It's going to be a big improvement. And there's 17 minutes of additional footage in the 106-minute documentary. 17 minutes of new footage. That's what the director said at the premiere.
Gregory Field said, do you change cartridge when listening to mono vinyls?
I do not have a true mono cartridge, but I would have liked to have one for that mono white album.
Billy Wyman said, this Hot Rocks with Banner is second or later issue. Outtakes on Hot Rocks, not on the re-banner reissue.
Well, I've had it before where the outtakes were with the banner, but you're probably correct.
And then Gregory Field said, selling the extra texture poster on your wall.
That's up on my eBay store. Sell it for $100. Extra texture. That's the original promo poster, probably 73. Read all about it. Extra texture. George Harrison has all the solo albums down there. They just released Living in the Material World, and the deluxe box set of that is already sold out. So these companies are not making so many box sets anymore because they don't want to have ones left over. They just want to make enough to sell out pretty quickly. It's a whole different way in vinyl than it was a couple years ago when they released the Let It Be and the Revolver and the Sgt. Pepper and the Abbey Road. They've cut down of how many they're making.
Daniel Castillo says 17 minutes seems like it's a reissued documentary.
It's 106 minutes long, and 17 minutes of it is brand new footage. Not all from the, that's if I can say this right, not the Maisel brothers document footage. There's other footage they got from other collectors of like girls that were at the Ed Sullivan show, and I don't know, I can't talk about it until I see it, but I'll talk a lot about it on Saturday, a lot more detail than what's been said before. All right, a couple notes. So I do give a shout out to Caitlin Larkin. She did the best review of the documentary so far. She was at the premiere. She was 5 rows in front of Paul McCartney, if you can believe that. And she made herself not turn around during the documentary because she didn't think that be too good for the Beatles channel. So she just watched it. But in her mind, she was just wondering what would it be like to be sitting next to Paul McCartney when he was watching that documentary. Pete Best just turned 83. Happy birthday, Pete Best. Did you know that John Lennon nixed the decision to have Pete Best replace Ringo Starr when he was sick in the Australian tour? And so they got Jimmy Nicol instead. But the first choice was Pete Best, and John Lennon said no.
No.
All right, a little bit of chaperone minute. Give me those 2 photos there. And there's everything's there. I want to show. Kelly Clarkson on her show last week. She did Pink Pony Club, and she does amazing version of Pink Pony Club.
This is Pink Pony Club.
I got a Chapel Roan sign where she's dressed up as a Rocky Horror Picture Show, one of the characters in the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I got where she's dressed up in the Hot to Go. And this is her School Night CD that I just sold a couple days ago from School Night CD. I think it's 2020. Could be 2016, but I sold it for $300 for a CD because there aren't many of them out there. And I got a sign insert from Chapel Roan's album. It was a social media giveaway. If I can pull this insert out here. Let's see.
Daniel Castillo said, talk about a cash grab. Only 17 minutes. Lennon was insecure.
17 minutes, but it's 106. The rest of the footage is going to be better than we've ever seen it before, and the sound's going to be amazing. So I can't wait. So there's Chapel Roan's sign CD insert. She did that so much for a social media event. That is on my eBay store for, if you can believe this, $500. Only Chapel Roan could have an autograph currently that's worth that kind of money. All right, put my chaperones away.
What if it was a Beatles autograph?
Good luck, babe. They've done a remix of Hot to Go, a club mix that's pretty interesting. I heard on the YouTube this week, and it's number 4 on the UK charts, Hot to Go. And the song that's been number 1 19 weeks in a row in this country, the bar song by Shabuzi, it's all the way at 36 in England. So England has different tastes than we do in music. Thank you, Sticker Granddaughter.
Yep, you're welcome.
So Saturday on the live stream, we're going to give away. I have extra of these fan club photos. I'm going to give all these away and with 3 different trivia questions concerning the Beatles fan club. So you got them in the studio. Looks like during Sgt. Pepper, Paul's playing his Fender bass instead of the Hofner. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Gregory Theo. You're the guitar expert. That's when they were performing All You Need Is Love. They got George Martin behind them. Got some solo photos that were extra. Paul, these are all 1968 photos. John, Ringo. Yes, I do have a George in here. I think I have a couple of George. Looking serious. And John Lennon. And Ringo Starr. Trying not to be bored while the Beatles, John Lennon and Paul McCartney are creating their masterpieces. Paul in the studio. And the famous shot from the Hello Goodbye video where somehow the 4 Beatles were able to get back into their I never say that right, collarless suits from 1963. So check with us on Saturday. We're going to give that away with 3 different difficult questions concerning the Beatles fan club. And what's the guy's name that hasn't sent me an address on the last one, the help book?
Oh, the Paul is never dead. He hasn't came in yet today.
Yes, we need your address there so I can send this book out to you, this help book that you won on last Saturday's stream. That's my Yahoo YouTube address, Mr_Stickermania at yahoo.com.
QRM said Rickenbacker bass.
Rickenbacker bass. Rickenbacker. I think you say Rickenbacker.
Gregory Theo said, do you have musicians here interested in Hofner, Carver, and bass? All you need is love. Paul's 4001s with Magical Mystery Tour paint job. Yep.
All right. You're the expert on instruments. When I listen to music, I am not a musician like my buddy Kevin from Kevin Records. He's a guitarist. And I think I listen to music different than if you're a musician. But I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You're correct.
I listen to it for the pure magic that a song conveys, mostly about the music and not the lyrics. It's like why I like the Dave Clark 5 Glad All Over. It's just amazing, the beat, the song is just amazing. They pulled it off on that one. That's why they took the Beatles off the top of the charts with that song.
Daniel Castillo said, are you going to watch A Complete Unknown?
Complete Unknown, yes, I will watch that. Here's the Bob Dylan moment. I will watch that. It's coming into the movie theaters on Christmas Day, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. So we got original 1966, one of my favorite Bob Dylan's song, sheet music for Like a Rolling Stone.
Yeah, it's Christmas Day. Baby.
Folk Song Festival. And then this original Saturday Evening Post from November 2nd, 1968. with Bob Dylan on the cover. It says a rare picture of Bob Dylan in seclusion. And if you go to page 34, where the article is, if you can believe what the title is on this, it says, Enter the King, Bob Dylan. There's my Bob Dylan moment. You know that my favorite Bob Dylan album is Blonde on Blonde. All right, that's something we got to get up tomorrow. Let's show some more things, unless you guys got some things to talk about.
Read the comments.
What's the comments?
Uncle Paul said, Frank, did you see Midas Man yet?
Midas Man. No, I have not seen it. Beatles Tone, he didn't give it a very good review, I don't think. I haven't seen it, no.
Gregory feels how
You didn't finish Uncle's comment. Though.
He said it reminded me of Birth of Beatles.
Birth of the Beatles. I have a whole promo kit of Birth of the Beatles. I'll pull it out and show it on Saturday night.
Gregory feels.
Do you know who? Here's a trivia question. Who was a producer of Birth of the Beatles from 1978? Who was the producer? Who's the first person to get that answer?
Gregory feels that all you need is ears, as George Martin's book said.
All you need is ears. You're correct. And I got the music ears. I've had them for a long time. All right, a couple more notes. Chappell Roan's nominated 2 nominations for the Billboard Awards coming up December 8th for Best New Artist and Top Female Artist. And Perry Cox sold a full 1964 Beatles ticket unused for Vancouver, Canada. From 1964, he sold it last week for $3,700. And I talked about the Talk More Talk podcast. Some future things I got coming in. I think I better take this button off because I'm privileged to wear it, but it's expensive. This is a $888 pin back button, if you can imagine that. This is the 3rd time I've ever had one of these in my lifetime.
Read Gregory's comment.
Gregory Field said, Indianapolis Colts owner Jim Ursall owns Dylan's guitar on the cover of that magazine.
All right, so give me that magazine again. It's right over there. I got it.
I don't know what magazine that.
Jim from the Indianapolis Colts owns a lot of the Beatle instruments that were on when they were on Ed Sullivan in 1964 also. I don't think he has the whole set yet. So Jim Ursall owns this guitar. Did not know that. Thanks. We got Eric Cash's photo back here behind me of the Beatles arriving in America. When I saw Eric Cash at the Fest for Beatle fans in Chicago last August, I asked him, well, where's Phil Spector? And he said, well, I left Phil Spector out of the painting. But you got Brian Epstein, which I don't think he was there when the Beatles first got off the plane. I think that should be Phil Spector, but you guys correct me if I'm wrong. But Brian Epstein did come over with him. I just don't think he was in the photo when they came down the escalator from the plane.
Uncle Paul said Dick Clark produced Birth of
Yes,
Beatles.
Dick Clark, that's the answer. Way to go, Uncle Paul. You got it. Good job. I liked your new video you put up on Uncle Paul's Beatles Pop Playhouse on the Strawberry Fields. That was an entertaining video. If you guys haven't checked out Uncle Paul's Pop Playhouse channel, you need to. He's got 5 videos up so far. This is not as good a shape as the one that I sold for $1,800. This is on my eBay store for $444. And no, Bill from Ohio, I'm not going to trade for it. I don't trade for these things.
Would you trade a dime?
It's like somebody wanted me to trade for my $37,000 set of Beatle autographs. I said, no, there's no trades on that one. So this has got the thermos clip. If you're going to believe this, that thermos clip's probably worth $50 because most of these old lunch boxes, that thermos clip's been thrown away a long time ago. 1965, Aladdin Industries from close to me, Nashville, Tennessee, made this. Got a working handle. I see sometimes they put these up on eBay and the handle's broke. We got 4 Beatles hard body Remco dolls. These are not original boxes. They are reproductions, but they're hard bodies inside it.
Uncle Paul said, thank you, Frank.
All right, Uncle Paul. Give you a shout out.
Gregory Fio said, Jim's proxy buyer here at Julian's in Beverly Hills buys all Beatles guitars and Ringo's drums. See his roadshow.
All right. So you got Mr. Paul McCartney. If you notice, the plastic's thicker on this than the 105 boxes original ones that I had. And you can tell by the, on the top, you can tell they're reproductions. They just copied original. So whatever wear was on the original, it's going to be the same on all 4 of these boxes. See, they have the same wear on all 4 on the top boxes in the same place. And you got George Harrison hard body doll. It's harder to get. It's more collectible to have the hard body dolls. This is a whole set of the hard body dolls. John Lennon rather than the soft rubber. And Ringo Starr. You put that up there behind you. I gotta get this up tomorrow. Mikey Arugula, where you at tonight? Thought Mikey Arugula was gonna buy this. It's up on eBay at $222. Probably one of the few in the world from 1963 in the United Kingdom that hasn't been punched out. It's a little flimsy cardboard cutout. You know that all the girls that got this in 63 punched it out and put it on their wall. It was a bonus for subscribing to the Beatles Fabulous magazine. The Beatles weren't the only ones in Fabulous magazine, but you got a subscription of 12 issues, and as a bonus, you got that cardboard cutout, punch out. But I've seen that in scrapbooks before where they've taken it out and they put those photos of the crazy photo of the Beatles in a scrapbook. Probably one of the few in the world that hasn't been punched out. That's what I like to go after. I like to get those things that are really rare, like that Beatles White Album.
Jenna Jamison said, one finger and.
I will never have.
I think they were asking the person above is what they were asking about the question.
I will never in my lifetime probably have a first day issue of the Beatles White Album in that condition again in such a low number. Because the first 200,000 to 300,000 were all monos. 10,684. So when the Beatles got their first number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, they were all mono copies, what the Beatles got themselves. The Beatles were not too much into the stereo mix until Abbey Road. Open this one more time. Look at that laminated. Amazing how that thing was preserved for all those years. On the spine, it's got the Beatles, and then it's got the stereo catalog number and the mono catalog number. I've had these before where the laminated will come up right there on the spine. So they just did a heck of a job of putting that away in a bank vault or something for over 50 years.
Daniel Castillo said not true stereo was taken seriously for the White Album. Revolution 9 is a fold down on mono.
The Revolution is not a true mono, is that what you're saying? But Daniel, the rest of the tracks on that mono White Album surely are true mono mixes. I heard things in the first side I've never heard before. Instruments coming up louder in the mix. On back in the USSR sounds different. Obla D, Obla Da sounded a lot different, and the continuing story of Bungalow Bill was a whole different mix. And then on the Ringo Starr song, where not Rocky Raccoon, I'm getting that wrong. Help me out. The Ringo song. I don't know why it's not listed here.
Daniel Castillo said yes, only stereo mix exists. Well, stereo is a gimmick.
Gotcha.
Don't pass me by.
Don't pass me by. There it is, too.
Uncle Paul.
Way to go, Uncle Paul. Don't pass me by is the fiddles are completely different. Helter Skelter is shorter. Whole different way of listening. Julia sounds a lot different.
I hope Uncle Paul wins the giveaway.
Why don't we do it in the road? Why don't we do it in the road? Sounds different. The Blackbird has different bird sounds that come in at different times. Different way to listen to the White Album. Got a Beatles 65 from Germany. It's in the original import shrink wrap. And you want to get these German pressings from the late 70s that have the 72 catalog number. This is 7204201B. If it says 62, that means they're not the remastered from the original master tapes. They're not as good if you get them from the early 70s. You want to get the late 70s pressing. So Beatles 65. It's got She's a Woman and I'll Feel Fine on here, which is not on the Beatles for Sale.
What are y'all making for Thanksgiving?
What are you making for Thanksgiving? I had to show 100 people where the cranberry sauce was today. And somebody thought we were sold out of French fried onions, but I found some. Some stuff I had coming in. I don't know, the mail will be behind because tomorrow they're not working. So Friday and Saturday I should get most of this in. I have a sealed 1978 BC-13, completely sealed. Number 1017, one of the first 3,000 box sets that were imported by Capitol Records from the United Kingdom. And I have a sealed box coming in, and all the albums inside it are sealed also with the hype sticker on it. It's got a gold sticker on the front and a title gold sticker on the back. It's the best condition one I've ever had in my lifetime, coming in shortly here. Today I bought a 1974 Beatles record store display kit that has all the posters. I think they're right there in that. If you open that closet, there are those 4 posters I put in that box. And it's got the whole kit. Yeah, those are it. It's got moldables and it's got the dividers. But it'll have like 4 each of these. That's the black and white one that has all 4 Beatles. And then these are the 4 the separate. You got Paul as he's young until he gets older. And you got...
That was a great one.
Who just did that?
You got Ringo Here's a trivia question for you. They just posted it on YouTube. I don't know if it's true. What do you think the first Beatles song that Paul wrote when he's 14, 15 years old, but wasn't recorded for years later? What's the answer to that? What's one of the very first of the Beatles songs that Paul McCartney wrote and was recorded many years later?
Uncle Paul is making stovetop stuffing.
Stovetop stuffing?
I'm 60.
When?
And I'm 64.
Who got it right?
Uncle Paul.
Uncle Paul, man, you must be watching the same videos I am.
Paul.
When I'm 64, I guess Paul wrote when he was 14 or 15, so he really knew what he was doing. He was a genius when he was young. Musical genius.
Gregory didn't do Gregory Field.
I know, but he asked the question, so I was answering it.
Alright.
Gregory Fields said, "Get that mono cartridge. You won't be sorry, Frank."
All right, I'll take your advice. I'll have to go to a magnetic tape here in town and see how much a mono cartridge would be. See if they can put one on my Thorns TD 320 turntable, or do I have to have another pickup to put it on? I don't know if you can just take a mono off and put it on there or not, but I will look into it. Some other things I got coming in. I got another Rolling Stones Let It Bleed first issue from the United Kingdom stereo, the one that I think is one of the best Rolling Stones album. Somebody ranked it as one of the top 10 1960s albums was Let It Bleed. They had Sgt. Pepper as number one. And I have a 1964-67.
Daniel Castillo said, mono cartridge don't come cheap.
I know, I would think they're about $500.
Gregory Fields said, Mama's Little Girl.
Mama's Little Girl? No, well, he might have wrote that when he's young, but When I'm 64 is the answer. So I have all the rest of these from the United Kingdom coming in. I won. I picked up on the internet with the original inserts, except for the 63. That's real hard to get. And I have a UK 5th pressing in near mint condition of Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon. And I'm hoping it has HTM in the dead wax. That means Harry T. Moss recut the UK pressing from the original stereo analog master tape. So crossing my fingers that I'll have a HTM. One time I had a Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon and it had a HTM in the dead wax and it really sounded good. But I sold it to my boss at the store, and it has the posters and the stickers. It's a complete. It's supposed to be like a 1974 issue of Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon. I got another Second State mono butcher cover coming Friday. Hopefully I get it peeled for East Coast for Saturday night stream. And I would show you the blue disco case, but I went out in the mail today. I have a pink one. The 1966 Beatles disco case coming on Friday.
Nicole.
I know. Nicole said, Joan got the White Album. Congrats, I was a couple hours too late.
Uh-huh.
Gregory Fields said, maybe bring Thorn's cartridge you have now and they'll attract match.
All right, that's what I'll do. I think I went through all my notes. Got some questions. I'll show a few more things. We might be a little short this week tonight because I got to go back to the store and get it ready for the grocery store and get it ready for tomorrow morning. I didn't have. It was too busy to get it all done.
Uncle Paul.
Uncle Paul said, blasting my pink vinyl Pink Pony Club 7 times in a row today.
Who did?
Uncle Paul.
What a song! What a song! But do you agree with me, Uncle Paul? If she did a newer version of Pink Pony Club or the live version from Saturday Night Live, it would be a big hit because it's so much more powerful and with a beat than the original song from 4 years ago. Sold most of my original UK EPs. I got a few left. These are first pressings.
He said that was incredible, yes.
What, Pink Pony Club?
Yeah.
Yeah. You got Twist and Shout. You want to have the Parlophone And the middle still punched in, and you want to have -1 in the dead wax. Got the Beatle hits.
Ow!
Let's all get along now. The Beatle hits. And you got the Beatle million sellers. I sold all the rest of the original UK EPs. That's all I have left. They're on my Stickermania 2853 eBay store.
Gregory Field says, "See you sold Meet Beatles play display." Yay!
No, it's right here. It's right here. It hasn't sold yet. Somebody was interested in this, and I said it was $40 shipped, but I will sell this $200 shipped. Send me an email through my Mr_Stickermania@yahoo.com. I got the original shipping box and everything. I'll put it back together and ship it to you for $200. So this has got the got this at the South Louisville Antique Toy Mall last Sunday. This is a year 2000 a CD counter display for Madonna music. I used to like Madonna a lot when at the beginning I saw her at the in Cincinnati at the Cincinnati Gardens, and the Beastie Boys opened up for her. It's an amazing show. And I also saw Aerosmith when Guns N' Roses opened up for Aerosmith. So talking about some shows where the opening band was bigger than the headliner. That was one of them. Guns N' Roses was #1 on the charts, but they were already booked to open up for Aerosmith at the Riverbend. They call it the Riverbend Music Center. I think it's a different name now in Cincinnati. Alright, got a couple of one other Bob Dylan thing. You guys have seen this. They made many of these in 1977. The Beatles illustrated record. But I got this in, never seen this before. Bob Dylan, the illustrated record from the same year, 1977. So I'll have to check this out. All about Bob Dylan and his different parts of his career. And yes, Daniel, I will try to go to the movie theater and watch The Complete Unknown. Is that the right title?
I'm gonna go too.
Or is it Destination? Destination Unknown. I think that's the title. Now you talk about the Beatles and mono box set. Instead of buying the Beatles 65, I go after the early 70s pressing. This is a 19... I sold the Hard Day's Night from 68 last week to Patricia. This is a Beatles for Sale early pressing in the United Kingdom with -1, the original tube cut stereo. And boy, this pressing rocks. That's what I'm into. That's what it's all about, my ears.
Ears.
I'd rather listen to this than the new Beatles and mono box set where they're taking 50, 60-year-old master tapes and trying to perform miracles on them. These have already done many years ago from the master tapes by Harry T. Moss. He was great at mastering the Beatle albums.
Daniel Castillo said it's a complete unknown.
Complete Unknown. Gotcha. Thanks, Daniel. The Complete Unknown. Didn't bring any Butcher's covers, my real nice ones. They're locked up in my bank vault. This is a couple of my practice ones I've shown before. My stereo East Coast that had the real strong glue. And it was real bad shape to begin with. That's a trunk slick I removed from it. And Gregory Field knows about these West Coast. When you get to that point, you can't really go any farther or you'll take their Beatle faces right down to the cardboard. That strong glue is not meant to get off anymore. And I'll bring that out Saturday again. My near mint peeled by Jim Hansen West Coast butcher cover. I have 2 people interested in that on eBay, but I'm not going to go down the price. It's $3,000. So my Mexican friends, Annular and Christian, there's another buyer that wants to buy it. So if you want that near mint West Coast butcher cover, you better snap it up. There aren't going to be too many more of them around. Did I showcase about everything? Freddie and the Dreamers. Here, you show that a second.
This is the email, Mr. Stickermania at Yahoo, Mr._Stickermania at yahoo.com.
Exactly.
I don't know if I showed these in a live stream. Did I show these yet?
No.
They bubble gum.
I
So-
want to see.
All right, put those away. Put that away. Or you show them.
Okay.
These all came out of a bubblegum machine, 1964.
First, we got this one. I'm Paul Beatles, and it's a flipper one.
You're going too
And this
quick.
one-
You gotta take your time. You gotta.
This one says I'm John, and it flips. This one says I'm George, and it flips. And as you know, this one's Ringo. And then,
How'd you went Ringo quick?
cause I don't like
These were
Ringo.
little, I guess you put them on your fingers or something. They were in gumball machines in 1964.
It's like a toy.
They had little buttons. They had to say Green Duck on them. It's George Harrison.
And then
the
this.
rings are what he called the rings.
This is a pin. You can stab.
That was from England.
Yeah,
You're
Uncle
sure?
Paul, he said lenticular is what the rings are called with the color that you went
A
shape.
flasher.
Yeah, lenticular,
ring.
and it changes. Here's all of them.
So thanks to Joan from Little Beatles Corners, I traded a Hard Day's Night pressing, and I got this full set of 66 that you've seen on a short of mine of Freddie and the Dreamers, where it makes a puzzle. Maybe I'll put it back together and show the puzzle on Saturday. And I got the trading card box from 1965. It says bonus photo puzzle, but the only way you got that puzzle is you had to find all 66 original cards, and they're on the backs of them. And then the 3.5-inch pin back button. I love Freddie and the Dreamers. So do the Freddie, and I'm telling you now, Freddie was really funny if you watch some of his performances when he was on shows.
Daniel Castillo said, I'm sure Paul and Ringo approved the release of capital monos. They can't sound that bad.
All right, well, I'd rather get a 2014 mono box set any day of the week. But that's my opinion. I guess we all agree to disagree.
Gregory Fields says, same album except Kansas City on Beatles for sale, right?
Yeah, on side 1, it has Kansas City. But on side 2, it's different than Beatles 65.
Gregory Fields said, Beatles for sale UK and Beatles 65 nearly identical.
Nearly identical, but the sonic sound on this baby will blow Beatles 65 away. The Beatles 65 is like a 3rd generation dub, where this is made from the master tapes, -1. It's got 7 songs on side 2 and 7 songs on side 1, so you got 14 songs on Beatles for sale. If you haven't listened, Gregory Field, to a stereo pressing, early stereo pressing from the 70s or late 60s, tube cut, you're missing out. All right, I think that is about does it from Louisville, Kentucky. I gotta get back and finish up the store and get it ready for Thanksgiving. We're open from 7 to 3 tomorrow. Thanks a lot for checking us out. Big shout out to Concert Buddy. I appreciate every time I send a message on one of your surface noise You guys always put me on the message. You always shout me out, so I appreciate that. Thanks a lot from Louisville, Kentucky. Thanks a lot, Sticker Granddaughter. And Sticker Kid will be here on Saturday. Hopefully he has a joke that's PG. See you later.
Yeah, hopefully.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Make me some food, please.